Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
There is Lee Oswald. He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
That's one small step for man.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Welcome to the Howdy Boomer Show on the YouTube channel. This is a daily broadcast by baby boomers for baby boomers. Join the Peanut Gallery, become an official member of HowdyBoomy.com, where there's great gifts and ideas for the baby boomer generation. And we're going to be talking daily about things that affect everyday life. Like, we're going to be driving gas cars rather than worried about charging someplace to take half of our life getting there. We're going to be cooking with gas rather than whatever the woke generation wants us to cook with. We're going to be worried about climate change, but unlike John Kerry, who looks like the love child between Secretariat and Jerry Seinfeld, we're going to be letting Mother Nature take care of that. We're going to go back to the days when the good guys were the cops, the bad guys were the criminals. We're going back to the days when if you were born with a penis, you were a male. If you were born with a vagina, you were a female. Every day we're going to be broadcasting ideas that's going to help make America great again. And we're going to be bringing everybody to the forefront to remember what made this country great. In the days of the old laughing, every day we're going to sock it to them.
Sock it to me?
Welcome to the Howdy Boomy Show. Hope you had a great weekend, Cinco de Mayo and everything like that. The weather is starting to change. It's going to be a very, very big weekend as far as the news on the Biden family and their corruption. From what I understand, Representative James Comer is going to present evidence on Wednesday showing a corruption scheme, a bribery scheme, an influence peddling scheme between the Biden family and another country. He's got the evidence. He's going to present it on Wednesday, which is important because he has asked the Justice Department to hold off any indictments on Hunter Biden until after this report is given, insofar as not being able to charge him with a crime. Because he feels, and the scuttlebutt around Washington is, that Joe Biden's going to pardon his son. What they're going to do is put a bunch of charges together that are sort of minor league. One of them is going to be tax evasion for the money he's receiving from China and wherever else. And all the other little incidental things that they can roll up in one ball, charge him with it, and Joe Biden can pardon him. And people are going to feel sorry for Joe Biden because he lost his son in the war or in the military. And he'll feel sorry that, well, he was doing anything just as a normal father would do for his son, which is all a bunch of hooey. If you talk to Secret Service agents who were based in Ukraine, were in Ukraine, many times that Biden went to the Ukraine, he went with his son. His son was on his right-hand pocket everywhere they went together. Everywhere. Private meetings with department heads, private meetings with ex-government heads, private meetings with foreigners, private meetings with companies, private meetings with bankers. So in order for Joe Biden to say he didn't know anything about what Hunter is doing or vice versa is a bunch of hooey. So it's going to be interesting to say if the Justice Department comes out with an indictment to lessen the charges against Hunter Biden to cover up the Biden schemes before Mr. Comer comes out with information. It was brought to the attention of the Justice Department in 2018 that there was a bribery scheme involving the Biden administration, and the Justice Department decided not to do anything about it, which tells you something about Joe Biden's years in government, making all the friends, collecting all the debts that he is owed, and now they're protecting him along with your friendly newspapers. They're protecting the Biden family. I just wonder What happens if they find out that because of the Biden family bribery claims, the actions they took, especially with China, that if any Americans lost their lives because of it, then what do you say? You can't believe the weaponization of the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Justice. They're going to have Clapper testify before Congress about this bogus letter that was written, signed by Clapper and 51 other people, saying that the information on Hunter Biden's laptop was planted by the Russians. They know that's false. He knew it was false when he signed it. It's going to be interesting to see what he says before Congress. I told you he's going to do. He's going to lie. That's why I wish they hooked him up to a lie detector test, something that a light would go on every time they lied. Otherwise, they're just going to lie right through it, just like they always do. Weaponization of departments, CIA, Department of Justice seems odd now, like it never happened before. But one of Joe Biden's challengers for presidency of the United States on a Democratic ticket, Robert Kennedy Jr., is now stating that he believes JFK, President John F. Kennedy, was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963, and the CIA had their hand in it. Amazing. He says he's sure of it. And when a member of the Kennedy family says that, you have to stand back and take heed. Unbelievable that the weaponization of government could be going back that far. Maybe it always happened. You're just too naive to believe it. But when a Kennedy says that the CIA was involved, you're going to have to take notice of that. Now, the Kennedy name does not hold the oomph that it did 40 years ago when Ted Kennedy was still alive, when the Kennedys were in full power. But it's going to be interesting to see, because they've got a machine also. Not as extensive as Biden, and Biden's the President of the United States, and he could push buttons and things happen. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens if any truth comes out. Either or. The Kennedy assassination, the Biden bribery family. It's going to be an interesting week. Let's see what happens. Remember, if they indict before Wednesday, you know there's a scam going on. Another shooting in a Dallas mall. I don't think he had an automatic weapon. The only thing I know is that when they went to the family's house, where he lived with his parents, he was 30 years old, lived with his parents, they had to get an interpreter. So I don't know if this guy was an illegal alien or not. But there's shootings now. I guess there are 199 mass shootings in the United States this year alone. A mass shooting is defined as 4 people killed, not including the gunman. That's what our country has come to nowadays. Again, a gentleman on Wall Street said he's never seen this country as separated, as one against another, since the Civil War. There was another shooting in a medical office where a kid took out a handgun and just started shooting people in the office, and his mother was sitting next to him. His mother said that the kid had mental problems. Now, if she knew he had mental problems, could she not have taken the gun away? I don't know if there was a father involved, which is the important part. Because as I said before, everything begins at the kitchen table. If there's no father involved, all bets are off as far as the upbringing of kids go. Mothers really cannot do it alone. The mother knew he had mental problems, yet he walks into a doctor's office with her, was delayed as an appointment. I guess he got angry and got up and started shooting people. Going to a doctor's appointment with a gun. Going to a birthday party with a gun. A graduation party with a gun. There are certain segments of society that are responsible for this, and it's time they took heed. Global warming, always an issue because it's a big, big sewer upon which we are dumping American money in. Trillions. $50 trillion. John Kerry and his band of merry men are making deals around the world that we have no idea what's going on. They're all phony. And I just wondered, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I remember opening up a joint and had an air conditioning guy come in and says, "You're going to need air conditioning here." And I said, "Why?" "It's really not that hot during the winter, or during the summer." He said, "Yeah, but you're going to have to realize that everybody that walks into this establishment brings along with it 98.6 degrees. In 1960, there were 3 billion people on the planet. Right now, there are 8 billion people on the planet. That's 5 more billion people at 98.6 degrees. Could that have anything to do with global warming? Could anybody answer that question for me?" Interesting week. Boomers, come to power. Let's vote. Call your newspapers. Find out why they're covering up. Tell them all you want is the truth. That's all. Print the truth. They may not find it. They may not recognize it, but print the truth. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Time frame, images of a generation. We grew up in a simpler time. We sang.
Say, kids, what time is it?
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E.
We laughed.
Hello, boy.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
We cried.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
We fought. We loved. We were attacked.
Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air.
Our flag was still there. Now these memories come to life on posters that can be yours today. Go to howdyboomy.com for your copies today. That's howdyboomy.com. howdyboomy.com.